It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
The Democrat Party has become so extreme and out of touch with America that its members will never again allow a justice to be seated on the Supreme Court if that justice was nominated by a Republican. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York says the Democrats will filibuster the confirmation vote for Neil Gorsuch, who President Trump has nominated to fill Justice Antonin Scalia's vacant seat. As Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa put it recently, if the Democrats are willing to filibuster Neil Gorsuch, they'll filibuster anyone put forward by the president. We don't have to stand for that, America. The confirmation vote for Justice Gorsuch is coming up sometime in the next few days, and America needs your help to ensure that he is confirmed. So I'm offering this campaign as a free campaign to any patriots out there who want to speak out to ensure that President Trump's first Supreme Court nominee is actually confirmed. But those of you who can afford to do so, please contribute to help pay for this freebie. They are expensive. I'll tell you about this so-called nuclear option today, and I'll also explain why the filibuster is a dumb rule that was imposed on the Senate by the Democrats, and which the Democrats change whenever it suits their purposes. We'll look at the true history of the filibuster, and that will hopefully encourage you to speak out and call for the majority Republicans to invoke the so-called nuclear option that blows away the filibuster rule. I run these free campaigns periodically to allow as many people as possible to speak out on the vitally important issues of today. And this issue about Mr. Gorsuch is absolutely a vital issue. Also, please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you'll receive updates on our daily America First action plans. I said all along that Neil Gorsuch was the best possible nominee that President Trump could have selected from the federal bench. Gorsuch proved that as he was grilled for 23 hours of confirmation hearings in the Senate. I think he did a spectacular job, and he'll do a great job on the Supreme Court as well. But the extremist Democrat Party is doing everything possible to try to smear Neil Gorsuch and prevent him from being confirmed. One thing that should have impressed most people about the confirmation hearings was that Gorsuch was not willing to put up with any crap from the Democrats. Senator Dick Durbin, for example, a Democrat extreme globalist from Illinois, even told Gorsuch prior to the public hearings that he was basically going to accuse Gorsuch of sexism. Those weren't the exact words that he used, but Durbin admitted this in the hearing. Watch this exchange between the two, and you'll see that Gorsuch wasn't going to let Durbin's name-calling succeed, and he didn't.
Would you agree that if an employer were to ask female job applicants about their family plans, but not male applicants, that would be evidence of sex discrimination prohibited by Title VII of the Civil Rights Act?
Senator, I'd agree with you. It's highly inappropriate.
You don't believe it's prohibited?
Senator, it sounds like a potential hypothetical case that might be a case for controversy I might have to decide, and I wouldn't want to prejudge it sitting here at the confirmation table. I can tell you it would be inappropriate.
Inappropriate. Do you believe that there are ever situations where the cost to an employer of maternity leave can justify an employer asking only female applicants and not male applicants about family plans?
Senator, those are not my words, and I would never have said them.
I didn't say that. I asked you if you agreed with this statement.
And I'm telling you I don't.
Gorsuch has some backbone, and I think he can handle the confirmation hearings pretty well. I sure think he can. He's a constitutional originalist who will apply the law without grinding a political axe, which is as it should be. But the Democrats are going to try to block his nomination. As I mentioned earlier, Chuck Schumer says the Democrat senators are in lockstep, and they will filibuster Gorsuch for 4 years. 4 years if they have to. To get Neil Gorsuch confirmed, the Republicans will have to invoke the so-called nuclear option by voting away the right for the Democrats to have a filibuster. The right to filibuster is a Senate rule. It's not a law. It was created by the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party itself waives this rule or invokes this rule whenever doing so advances their globalist anti-America agenda. So why hasn't Majority Leader Mitch McConnell likewise pulled the trigger and invoked the nuclear option? That is, stopping the filibuster from even starting. He's handing the Democrats an easy victory over President Trump and Neil Gorsuch if McConnell continues to freeze up like a deer in the headlights. Let's talk about what the filibuster is for a few minutes. The filibuster is a procedural rule in the Senate, which is not in the U.S. Constitution, and it's not in any statute. The filibuster allows one senator to delay a vote by holding the floor as long as he can stand up. The original Senate rule in 1789 allowed debate to be shut off by a simple majority vote. In 1917, the Democrats were in the majority, and they imposed a rule called cloture. That's C-L-O-T-U-R-E, cloture, which required a two-thirds vote to shut off debate. From 1917 until 1962, cloture was used only 5 times. In 1975, the Democrat majority in the Senate decided that it was too difficult to reach a two-thirds vote, so they changed the rule again. They changed it to require only 60 votes to shut off debate. Do you notice what's missing from the introduction of these rules to shut off debate? Republicans have never been involved in passing the filibuster rule or changing it, only the Democrats. The Democrats use the filibuster when it suits their purposes, and they change it when things aren't going their way. It's a heads we win, tails America loses fashion. We can help the Republicans in the Senate grow a spine, strengthen their backbone, and invoke the nuclear option now while they have the opportunity to do it. Then Supreme Court nominee could be voted in with a simple majority of 51 votes, which is all that should be required. What would be wrong with that? I ask you. Well, when Harry Reid was Senate Majority Leader, he was ready to do away with the filibuster when it benefited the Democrats. A president of the United States can be elected by a simple majority of the Electoral College. Indeed, that happened one time in 1877 when Rutherford B. Hayes was elected. Any legislation that can be passed in the House by a simple majority, we all know that. A simple vote is viewed as a valid victory in elections and in most legislative settings. It is only in the U.S. Senate where this rule that only benefits the Democrat Party is in effect. If the Democrats ever end up in power again, they will do everything they can to crush patriotic Americans. We need to take bold steps right now in order to roll back their extremist globalist policies. So let's nuke the filibuster and put Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court. Here's how we can do it and how you can help at no cost whatsoever to you. Go to our action page today and send your personalized letters to the Senate Rules Committee. Tell them to invoke the nuclear option and invoke it now. If you want to contact more senators, you can do so for a small fee, but your letters to the Rule Committee are totally free. Bob Mallory will have instructions on the next section explaining how to navigate to our action page, so stay tuned. This is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many blessings.
If you're on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program and send personal letters to Congress. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find the link to our action page, or check the video's description to find the link. Speak out today.